Welcome to Doc's Daily Dose for Dads, prescribed by Dr. Harrison. I'm losing a good friend. Well, I'm not really losing him. We're going to stay friends, but he's heading off, got engaged, and moving out of state into Oregon. I'm here in California. For a lot of you, maybe you know, maybe you don't, but I used to do a podcast that just ended like 3 weeks ago. We put out one episode a week for 3 years straight. It was called 230 Dudes. It's still up on iTunes and Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Stitcher, Spreaker. So you can go back and listen to all those. It was a great show, a lot of fun history stories as well. I mean, we just had really good communication. We learned each other's, skill set really well, and we picked up where others fell off a little bit. And it was a really good show. And, like I said, my buddy who co-hosted it with me, who I met in radio broadcasting school, Charles Schuling. Charles, what up? He's gotten engaged to his fiance, and he comes from Iowa. She, I believe, comes from a smaller town in Northern California. So they like the city feel, but they also miss the feel of having land and, space and kind of the country feel. So they settled on something that was kind of in between, where they got the best of those both worlds up in Oregon. And so he's leaving. He heads out this Friday. I wish you the best of luck, man. I know we'll be in touch, and we might have something under our sleeves for people who do love 230 Dudes, so stay tuned for that. But what does this have to do with my kids? Right. Well, when I told my kids, hey, this is probably the last time you're going to see Charles in a long time, their response was, after a couple minutes, they'd come up to me one by one and just be like, I'm really sad Charles is leaving. Like, I don't want him to go. And it got me thinking about how kids are such a good barometer. They have such a good gauge for good people and good people in your life, right? I have friends that whenever I say, oh, they're coming over, like Charles, like Marshall, like my boy Dundee, whenever I'm like, oh, they're coming over, they get super excited. And they're looking every car that pulls up. Oh, I think that's Charles' car. Oh, I think that's Dundee's car, right? Like, everything. They're just super duper excited anytime I mention that those folks are coming over. And each one of those people I've named that are close friends to me, they've been really good for me in my life. And I think the kids recognize that, as well as recognize how awesome these people are with the boys, right? Because I have other friends that I'll mention are coming by and there's no reaction. And those are friends who typically I don't see very much, or who also I keep somewhat of a distance. I still love them. I just love them from a distance because our lives are just different. And you might say, well, that's just, if the other ones are coming over more often and they're playing around the kids, they have a better relationship because they know them more. Yes, but not really. My kids, I think, not just my kids, but all kids, I think have a really good gauge for good quality people. So let them be that gauge. I'm not saying to make your inner circle all based on who your kids say should be in it. But if your kids find something a little suspicious, or they're not really warm to an individual for some reason, stop and think about why. There could be a reason. And even if they can't vocalize that reason or say what it is that's bothering them about that person, you might want to say, what is it about that person? Is this person going to be good for me in my life? Now, you may come to the conclusion that, yeah, my kids are just being shy, or they don't like that person for this reason because they told them no one time, whatever the case may be. But I think it's a good, kind of litmus test to say, wow, my kids really took to that person and they didn't to this person. I wonder what the difference is in the quality of these individuals in terms of being in my life and what value they bring. Because all the people that my kids are really excited about coming over, Charles, Dundee, Marshall, Coach Smoke, like they've all brought value to my life. So I'm going to listen to the kids a little more, or at least watch when new people come around, or there are new people who are invited or involved in things, and kind of let them help me gauge whether or not I want them in my circle. I'm not going to let them decide, but I'm going to help them let me gauge. Because, right, especially too, if my whole vision and dedication is really helping fathers and sons, what better test than to test with my kids? Think about it. They might be more accurate than you give them credit for. That's Doc's Daily Dose for Dads. Don't forget to hashtag Doc's Daily Dose for Dads, hashtag 4D, all social media at rebirthbx. catch this on YouTube or hit the subscribe button here. Renaissance Behavior Facebook page is the other place that it's posted. And the new podcast format should be dropping either next week or the week following. I've already got some lined up guests to come on, and it's going to be fun. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow.